Most people think respect comes from being louder, tougher, or more aggressive. That's the common belief. If I speak boldly enough, people will back off. But real life doesn't work that way. Because the truth is this: nobody messes with someone who talks with clarity, calmness, and absolute certainty. Not volume, not anger, not intimidation, presence. And presence is created by the words you choose, especially in moments that matter. You've probably seen people who barely raise their voice yet command the room instantly. You've also seen others talk non-stop and still get ignored. The difference isn't personality, it's language. Strong individuals use phrases that signal boundaries, confidence, and composure. Weak individuals use phrases that signal insecurity, fear, and emotional chaos. And that's where this video begins. On Stoic Pathway, we've broken down hundreds of real-world communication patterns, psychological cues, and behavioral triggers. We've studied how CEOs, leaders, negotiators, and emotionally disciplined people speak, and more importantly, how they don't. What we've found is simple. There are a few rare phrases that instantly elevate your presence. Phrases that stop disrespect before it starts. Phrases that shift the power dynamic the moment they leave your mouth. Phrases that make people rethink how they talk to you. And today, you're about to learn the 5 most powerful ones. But before we dive in, do one thing for me. Like this video so it reaches more people who need stronger boundaries. Share it with someone who constantly gets overlooked or talked over. And drop a comment telling me one phrase you use to command respect, or one you want to learn. Now, let's get into the 5 phrases that command respect. Phrase number 1, I've made my decision. Unshakable certainty. The phrase, I've made my decision, is one of the clearest signals of inner strength. Most people speak in uncertainties. I think, I'm not sure, maybe, I'll see, I'm still deciding. This leaves room for others to influence, pressure, or manipulate their direction. But when you say, I've made my decision, you communicate something rare: certainty. Certainty commands respect because it shows you are not controlled by opinions, not swayed by noise, and not afraid to stand behind your choices. It immediately changes the power dynamic, not with aggression, but with clarity. Use this phrase in moments where hesitation would weaken your position. If someone tries to convince you to change plans you're not comfortable with, calmly say, I've made my decision. If you're setting a boundary, like not lending money, not tolerating disrespect, or not overextending yourself, use the same phrase. If someone keeps asking for explanations, validation, or negotiation, repeat it gently but firmly. I've made my decision. And here's the key. Say it with calm tone, relaxed body language, and slow pacing. It shows that your decision wasn't emotional. It was intentional. This phrase is even powerful in personal growth. You can tell yourself, I've made my decision. I'm changing this part of my life. Decisions become easier when you stop treating them like debates. This phrase matters because indecision invites disrespect. When people sense uncertainty, they push, test, and challenge you. But clarity ends arguments, stops negotiation, and communicates leadership instantly. I've made my decision doesn't close doors, it closes chaos. But standing firm is only one part of commanding respect. Because if you can't follow it with the next phrase, people may see your decisions as rigid instead of grounded. That's why the next phrase is essential. It shows strength and fairness. Phrase number 2, that won't work for me. Boundaries without apology. The phrase, that won't work for me, is one of the cleanest, most respectful boundary-setting tools you can use. Most people explain themselves endlessly. Sorry, I can't because, I wish I could, but it's just that. These explanations weaken your position and open the door for manipulation, guilt-tripping, or pressure. But that won't work for me is firm without being aggressive. It's a boundary stated as a fact, not an argument. It communicates self-respect, clarity, and emotional independence. People respect those who can say no without fear. Use this phrase anytime someone asks for something that violates your values, time, peace, or priorities. If a coworker tries to dump extra work on you, calmly say, "That won't work for me." If a friend pushes you into a plan you're not comfortable with, "That won't work for me." If someone tries to negotiate your standards, compromise your boundaries, or push past your limits, "That won't work for me." And here's the important part. Stop talking after you say it. Don't explain. Don't justify. Don't apologize. Let the silence do the work. This phrase is also powerful internally. When your old habits tempt you, procrastination, toxic relationships, destructive patterns, say to yourself, "That won't work for me anymore." It rewires your brain towards self-respect. This phrase matters because respect doesn't come from being agreeable. It comes from being consistent. When people see that your boundaries are firm but calm, they stop pushing. They adjust. They treat you with more consideration. But boundaries alone aren't enough. If you don't pair them with clarity and personal responsibility, people may misinterpret your strength as stubbornness. That's why the next phrase is essential. It communicates leadership and self-awareness at the same time. Phrase number 3. Let's stay focused on the point. Controlled direction. The phrase "let's stay focused on the point" signals leadership, clarity, and mental discipline. Most conversations, especially tense ones, drift into emotional side roads: blame, defensiveness, old arguments, exaggerations, and unrelated complaints. Weak communicators get dragged into this chaos. Strong communicators don't. When you say, "Let's stay focused on the point," you take control of the direction without raising your voice or dominating the other person. You show that you aren't here for drama, confusion, or emotional detours. You are here for clarity, resolution, and truth. And people respect anyone who can calmly guide a conversation back to what actually matters. Use this phrase when discussions start spiraling. If someone brings up unrelated issues to distract from the real topic, calmly say, "Let's stay focused on the point." If a conversation turns emotional or personal and you want to keep it productive, let's stay focused on the point. In meetings, negotiations, or leadership moments, this phrase immediately positions you as the grounded voice in the room. Even in relationships, when arguments start jumping across multiple topics, past mistakes, old frustrations, unrelated grievances, just pause and say, "Let's stay focused on the point." It signals maturity, emotional control, and intellectual clarity. The key is your tone: slow, steady, calm. You're not dismissing the person, you're eliminating distractions to keep the conversation honest. This phrase is also powerful internally. When your mind starts wandering, worrying, or catastrophizing, repeat, "Let's stay focused on the point." It's a mental reset button. This phrase matters because respect grows in the presence of clarity. People trust those who stay centered. They follow those who can guide conversations. They admire those who rise above emotional noise. But clarity needs compassion to stay balanced. Because if you can't guide the emotional tone of a conversation, control alone won't earn you respect. That's why the next phrase is essential. It shows strength and emotional intelligence. Phrase number 4. I hear you, but I disagree. Respectful disagreement. The phrase, "I hear you, but I disagree," is one of the strongest markers of emotional intelligence. Most people handle disagreement in two unhealthy ways. They either avoid it entirely to keep the peace, or they become confrontational, trying to crush the other person's viewpoint. Both approaches weaken your presence. But when you say, "I hear you, but I disagree," you communicate two powerful things at once. Respect. You listened. Strength. You still stand your ground. This balance is rare. It shows you can hold your own without being hostile, and you can validate someone's voice without surrendering your own. People deeply respect anyone who can disagree without disrespect. Use this phrase anytime someone expects you to agree, just to avoid tension. If someone gives advice you don't want to follow, say, "I hear you, but I disagree." If a friend pressures you into a choice you don't believe in, "I hear you, but I disagree." If someone challenges your viewpoint aggressively, this phrase disarms the aggression. It removes emotional escalation because you're acknowledging their perspective without surrendering your position. This works powerfully in relationships too. Instead of arguing back or shutting down, simply say, "I hear you, but I disagree." It resets the tone. It shows maturity, composure, and fairness. And in professional settings, this phrase signals leadership. You're not afraid to hold a different position, but you also don't bulldoze others. The key is calm delivery. You're not attacking, you're stating truth with composure. This phrase matters because it communicates confidence without conflict. People may forget what you say, but they never forget how you handle disagreement. And when you balance strength with respect, you naturally command more authority. But disagreement isn't enough on its own, because the moment you assert your stance, people will test whether your words actually mean something. That's why the final phrase is the backbone of real respect. It shows you won't tolerate disrespect from anyone. Phrase number 5. This conversation is over. Finality with authority. The phrase, "this conversation is over," is the ultimate boundary, clean, final, and firm. Most people drag arguments far longer than necessary. They explain, defend, justify, repeat themselves, raise their voice, or beg the other person to understand. All of this weakens your position. But when you calmly say, "this conversation is over," you signal absolute authority over your time, energy, and emotional space. This isn't about dominance. It's about refusing to participate in disrespect, circular arguments, manipulation, or chaos. You're saying, "I control when this ends, not you." And nothing commands respect faster than someone who refuses to be pulled into endless conflict. Use this phrase when the conversation stops being productive and starts becoming toxic. If someone becomes disrespectful, dismissive, or emotionally charged, calmly say, "this conversation is over." Do not raise your voice. Do not explain why. Do not negotiate your decision. Simply stand up, walk away, or end the call. If someone keeps repeating the same point, trying to trap you into arguing, say, "this conversation is over." If you've already expressed your boundary and they keep pushing, use the same phrase. This doesn't make you cold, it makes you principled. You're protecting your peace without creating a scene. You can even use it with yourself. When you catch your mind spiraling into overthinking or replaying arguments, whisper, "this conversation is over." It resets your focus, it stops mental loops, it shuts down emotional noise. This phrase matters because respect isn't earned only by what you tolerate. It's earned by what you refuse to tolerate. When you show that you cannot be dragged into chaos, people start treating you differently, with caution, with consideration, and with respect. And now that all 5 phrases are complete, there's one final step. Understanding how these phrases work together to build a powerful, unshakable presence. Conclusion. When you put all 5 phrases together, you start to see something important. Respect isn't something you demand. It's something you communicate through the way you speak, the boundaries you set, and the calm certainty you carry. "I've made my decision" shows you're not easily swayed. "That won't work for me" shows you protect your time and energy. "Let's stay focused on the point" shows you lead conversations instead of being dragged by them. "I hear you, but I disagree" shows you can stand firm without disrespect. And "this conversation is over" shows you know exactly when to walk away. These phrases aren't about being harsh, they're about being clear. Clear about your standards, clear about your limits, clear about your self-respect. And that clarity is what separates people who constantly get pushed around from people who naturally command respect everywhere they go. Here on Stoic Pathway, we study communication through the lens of emotional discipline, psychological influence, and timeless Stoic principles. These aren't just phrases. They're tools that shift how people respond to you, and even more importantly, how you respond to yourself. If this video helped you strengthen your presence, do me one favor. Like the video so more people can benefit from it. Share it with someone who needs to start standing up for themselves. And leave a comment telling me which phrase you're going to start using today. Thank you for watching, and remember, respect isn't loud. Respect is calm, firm, and undeniable. See you in the next one.